What's up, world, and welcome to our show, Cuzzo Combo. We're your hosts, Renaissance Ronnie
and Mo Lovely. We're here to have an open dialogue about all things Black reality TV, highlighting positivity and giving out real life accountability checks.
So grab your seat and whatever you need, because we're about to dig in.
What's going on, Cuzzos? Welcome back to another episode of Cuzzo Combo. It is great to see you back with us. I am your host, Mo Lovely.
And I am Renaissance Ronnie.
And we're going to jump in. So, Love, Marriage, and Huntsville is back.
Yes, they're back.
So,
they're picking up where they left off, headed to the retreats.
Yes.
That apparently Marceau didn't know about. Well, I think he thought it was a retreat, but I didn't think he realized that it was with Dr. Francis.
Yes.
And it was more like couple therapy.
Hold on, Dr. Francis is going to be there? Oh, I got things to do. I was like,
Do you think he was serious, or do you think he was like joking?
I don't see. The thing is that I always feel like within his sarcasm, there's always truth. So therefore, yes, I think that when we already knew that when he sat down with Tisha, when she set him up before and didn't know that he was coming to a counseling session, he probably was like, okay, great. And be like, yes, let's do this again. He was like, oh no, I'm not coming back. So yeah, so I think that even though he might have been being sarcastic or whatever, she probably was like,
you don't think Maurice told him
that Dr. Francis is going to be there?
But yeah, that they were all going to meet up.
No, I think that that's what I'm saying. I think that he did know, but yeah. I just think that he just was like, oh, Dr. Francis is going to be there because because a lot of times they always have to have like conversations on speaker. So he knew he was on speaker. Right. He already knew. So yeah, I just think that he was just he knew and just was being a funny head, funny bone, whatever.
Can't help it.
But yes, talking about them.
The Scots.
The Scots.
They're the Scots 2.0, right? Because I think Kimmy and Maurice are 1.0. So they're 2.0. And then the other brother and his wife is 3.0.
I guess, well, whichever those ones are, child, I don't know, like, well, let's do this. So obviously, like, I want to start off with the positivity. So it's great that they all agreed to come to this marriage retreat and having an understanding that no marriage is perfect and that every marriage can always use some form of tweaking, some form of rather it's healing or whatever, right? Because when you grow, some things in some areas in marriages, you can grow apart. You can, there's a lot of things that can happen. So, you know what, being able to sit down in this, I think, especially as many of them business owners and, just making sure that their lives are being balanced out and that no one is being forgotten, is important. So it's always good to see, I think, the picture of not only just marriages getting or seeking the help of someone that is not within their friend group, but a well-respected peer. I love it because it also shows the normalcy that I feel like we lack in the Black community, which is that, it's
therapy.
Yeah, like when it comes to counseling or any form of help, yep. Yeah, like we tend to run away from it. So I do love that they are showing this picture, and I definitely I feel like Dr. Francis, I've never felt like I've watched him and I felt he's been off about anything. I definitely feel like I've definitely agreed to pretty much everything that he said to help, and it's never come off to be like pompous or disrespectful. I think that he's definitely has challenged to say, hey, listen, if this is what you want, this is what you're committed to, then you have to figure these things out. We have to answer these questions and stuff like that. So, like I said, I have a great deal of respect. I'm grateful that they are showing that aspect. And so, yeah, so there's my positivity to throw that in there before we start with the
negative. Well,
the
yeah, he speaks from he. I feel like he speaks from a place of not a place of perfection, but like I've been through this, and so I know I'm just speaking from experience type of thing, and not like, well, my relationship is the best and I know everything because look how long I've been married, and so you should. Because I feel like sometimes Tisha gets there, like she feels like the length of time that her and Marcel have been
yeah,
married is a testament to how good their marriage is, and that's
right.
not always true. So I
Yeah,
think Dr. Francis speaks to um, experience, not necessarily saying like my marriage is perfect. Look how long I've been with my wife.
right.
Def-
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we're also talking about um different maturity level too. Because yeah, Tisha, yeah, she needs to continue to go to Dr. Francis or maybe his wife to seek some separate counsel so she can heal through some stuff.
well, she's taking the first step, so we can cut her some slack for that. She started,
Yeah,
which
that's what I said. She just
first
needs to
step was
keep.
going to Dr. Francis.
Yes, that's what I said. She just needs to keep going. Can't be a one timer or can't do it for the television. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
that's also the tricky part. It's like, all right, is this journey continuing like after or
outside of the show, yeah.
yes, or are we just still stuck on, like, oh, yeah. So that's all my critique would be. But yeah, so you know, uh, I think that I know that Maurice wasn't necessarily all that interested in
You
going.
know,
But
be bribed with sex.
he, yes, but he definitely I'm grateful that he still showed up in a way that he's like, listen, like I'm even though I may not want to be here, this is something that he knows will be good because like he
Well, I think he has in his well, it comes off as if he has in his mind that Dr. Francis has fixed him, and what Kimmy's issue was with him, Dr. Francis has fixed. So now it's Dr. Francis' turn to fix Kimmy, which is having frequent sex. So he thinks that Dr. Francis is going to talk Kimmy into having frequent sex with him.
I don't know what he
Well, he
thinks.
has frequent sex, even more, I guess overboard sex in my eyes. He wants to have because he has frequent sex because she agrees to like everyday sex. So now he wants multiple times a day sex.
Right.
So he's
Yeah.
like
I
one of them
I don't know.
silicone
Guess
doll
we
babies.
right. I guess we'll have to see. We'll have to definitely see. But he's there. So that's the good. He seems to be in a sense of like what I can see. I think
Mm.
he's having a positive or trying to have a positive. Uh,
Not to like jump all over the place because I guess as of right now we don't know what Kimmy's illness is. I know they alluded to Kimmy having an illness coming up in this. They showed in the super trailer that Kimmy has something going on with her medically.
mm-hmm,
So I can only speak for what I think it is, and what I think it is breast cancer. And
mm-hmm,
with her having to possibly do like chemo and everything, and I'm sure that'll affect like her sex drive. So I wonder how that's working for him.
mm. Yeah,
I mean, because he can't just click his brain off and just be like, okay, my wife's sick, so I'm okay with not having sex
right.
anymore as much. I wonder how he's coping with that.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause that could be
Yeah.
a deal breaker.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Keeping it in his pants.
I mean, at least from, I think this is probably the first time, I would say, I'll speak for myself. This is the first time I've ever seen Maurice in a, I won't say a negative light, but like in a way where I've side-eyed him.
Yeah. Me
You know,
too. I am too.
so I feel like he's been pretty consistent with his love for Kimmy.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he, it even though, like you said, the not turn it off thing, that either they may have had some form of arrangement where she like, listen, if you want it, you do this, or you can go here, or whatever.
Mm.
So that
That,
she might be like, but you already know it ain't gonna happen over here for some
right.
time. So, and good for her, because she probably like, whew, got a break. Because don't think that women don't think that, shoot, you over here sexing it and busting it open for a full whole for a while. I don't know if she can still coming on her cycle, but for 28 to 30 days, once a day is like, and then if we talking about multiple times, we talking about more. So anywhere between 28 to let's just say 35 to
Well,
40 times a month.
that's why he wanted her to leave her job. He's like, look, you can't be a nurse anymore working those night shifts because I'm gonna need you home in this bedroom.
Whew. Yeah, it's a lot.
Um,
But kudos to those that are doing it, y'all. Y'all comment in the comment section, like, y'all over here like sexing like every day. Like, I want to know the women who are doing it. Like, please, please, please. Like, I want to know. Like, y'all
I
are
want to
so,
know too.
I really want to know, because I'm
I won't
like,
say if I am or if I am not, but I will. I do want to know the ladies who are. Like, what's your experience?
because I really and then I also like, I want to know your status. Like, I want to know if you're like a mother like to not like adolescents, like to babies, toddlers. I want to know, like, I want to know these things,
Yeah.
because
Do you
child,
work?
yes, like,
Are you just like a stay-at-home mom? Do you work?
I want to know, like,
I want to
please.
know too. What's your age group too?
Yes, child. Because they said that in the 40s, which
It
again we're
comes back
almost
alive.
there. They're like 40s is like you like popping it, which is why they be like, some women
Yeah,
get
I
caught
did.
up with like getting pregnant in their 40s, because they be like, whoo, they be all over their husbands. But we almost there, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna get there. I don't know, like, I don't know, but I'm not there yet, so I wouldn't know until I get there. But it
In
don't.
2 years, it's just gonna be like, ta-da!
Right. It's like, all right, get that engine rolling, because mama's ready.
You
Like,
had your rest.
yes, exactly. But yeah, so anyway, but let's jump into these other folks here. So
Yeah.
I'll say this before we jump into the Whitlows. So Marcel and Tisha. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't say how people should mourn, should grieve. I can't say that. But I will say that it was very inauthentic to me, when they said, she found out that she had a college friend, or her friend, that a good friend that passed away. And then when they went deeper, and it was like, oh yeah, it was a college friend that she went to school with, da, da, da. And then so in the confessional, she kept grabbing her but it didn't look like tears was coming out. Then when Marsol was consoling her, it didn't look like there was tears coming out. So I'm a little confused. I'm sorry, like, I'm again, I can't say how people grieve or whatever, but it just did not look
So
real.
what I had a hard time understanding was, and call me slow or whatever. Was it her friend since college or just somebody she went to college with?
Right. And that's the thing. Like, that's what it
People I
felt
went
like
to school
to me.
with that have passed, and I mean, it's sad to me. It's like, oh, such and such that we went to school with passed, but
Right.
that's it, and it's just like that's it. I
Yeah.
mean, it has been people that we were pretty close with in school that have passed away. Person that comes to my mind is Angela. And even then, while it was very, very sad that she passed away, I hadn't talked to Angela since school. So it just wouldn't make sense for me to be like acting like I was couldn't, like I was so distraught or faking tears.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like as far as right now, I've only cried about one college mate, but we were also still in college. Like we were in our last year.
Oh,
So,
so that's different. But I mean, if you
right.
were in college 20 years ago, that's how old is Tisha? She
I
in her
don't
40s?
I don't think so. I think she's like 37, 38, 39.
It's like our age. So yeah, she was in college like 15 years ago.
Right.
So
Exactly. So, yeah, so
like
that's
I
the thing. I don't Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, now I do have like I would say probably like probably 3 or 4 college mates that I still am in contact with. So if I did find out that they like that
yeah,
was
that's
yeah.
different. But
But yeah,
I don't
I
know.
know it just seemed like I said, it seemed real all inauthentic, and I think for me, I didn't like it because it literally happened right like because I like I said, when did they get the news? While after they were called out to being like, y'all late. Oh yeah, we had a mix up with the nanny. We on our way. And then it's like, oh, we arrived, and oh yeah, she had a friend that passed away. So I was just like, and I'm not saying that they couldn't have gotten a phone call like 15 minutes before they arrived. They could have, but it was just weird, and it just didn't seem real. And so I was just
To the point, it must have been like as soon as she was pulling up because it was to the point where she had to sit out on the porch and cry about it a little bit. It wasn't like, okay, let me get myself together. Let me go in here.
cry or sigh because I didn't see any tears. Like I said,
I mean, we're not saying we don't believe it, Tisha. We're just saying
oh,
maybe they
I'm saying that I
spiced
don't
it up. Maybe well, for me, maybe they just cut and paste the scene together so weirdly that it just didn't seem authentic.
because like I don't like they didn't even share anything. Like she was like, like they didn't share her pictures. Like how like when people be having their mothers and all that stuff be passing away, they be going back and they show like either flashbacks of like a scene with them, or they'll show up pictures of like this was me and my mother when baby like that. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm like we didn't see like anything.
That was kind of weird. And then for her to say, you just never know. So it was like, you just never know she was sick and you didn't know. And that's your friend. Or you just never know, like, she died in a car accident. Or you just never know, like, somebody killed her. Or you just never know, like, she committed suicide. Like, we need some details.
Yeah, and then right, and that's the thing. Like when she was like college, like she didn't even give any details. She didn't say like this was the young lady that when I was struggling with my speech impediment, or when I was struggling
Or
with,
she was my roommate. Or just
yeah,
anything. Like, you go to
exactly. I'm
college
like,
with 1,000 people. Like,
exactly. Well, she was the only one that when it came, like we were in our, the Black League, whatever together, and like it was no sharing of anything. We went to college together, and
right. She was my soror, or we just
she
really
was like,
bonded, or it was just, oh,
you just never. And I'm like, I get it, you got on makeup and all that sort of things, but I'm just like, we're not seeing nothing. I mean, like how like even if you like people hold tears in or whatever like that, or wipe them before they like start falling on their face, you can even see it in their eyes where their like eyes are kind of turning red or something. Well, I said her eyes is just as bright as a newborn child. Like,
see now her in the car saying, Keisha that I went to college with passed away. Marceau saying, and who's that again? Remind me who that is.
exactly.
Was she at the baby shower? Like,
Cause you saw he switched it up real quick. He was like, "We lost a good friend," and then he was. Then next thing you know, they panned it to them in the confessional, being like, "I lost a really good friend. We went to college together." And I said, "Okay, so it's not we lost a great friend. Y'all
was
y'all
teachers
didn't lose a great
or
friend."
teachers college mate? I don't know. We digress. Let's
Yeah.
get to it. So they are finally arrived. They were the last couple to arrive. The Whitlows were already there, where Tiffany had Tiffany interrupted the session because she had to go take a call for work, which Dr. Francis did not appreciate. And Kimmy and Maurice were there as well. Um, so Dr. Francis kind of zoned in on Tiffany and how she was supposed to be there, as you know, it's a couples retreat. You're supposed to be there with your husband and present, and clear your schedule basically for this, for your marriage. Is basically what Dr. Francis was trying to explain to her. And you know, her defense was that her husband already knew about the call, and so it was okay. And then she even went as far as saying, "Is the other couple here yet?" Like basically, this is not even starting because the other couple is not here. In Dr.
Right.
Francis's eyes, it was starting, whether they were there or not. We were starting. So
Yeah.
for her to interrupt and go take a call for work, and then and Lewis seeming like he's okay with it. I'm not necessarily sure if he was really okay with it, because
Right.
even when he went in the room to talk to Tiffany about it, it seemed like after she got off the call, it wasn't like she was in a rush to get back to the session. Like, oh, let me go back to the session because I, stop the session to go take this call and let me get back to this. She was like, oh, I was just in here answering a couple of emails after my call just ended. And so I decided to answer a couple of emails. And it was like, if Lewis never came in the room, how long was she just going to be in there answering a couple of emails was going to lead to, I just decided to go ahead and write this report up because, and where does she work?
I don't know. I thought she was just an entrepreneur at this point.
Exactly. And
Because
up doing in like what field, like what does she do? I actually initially thought that they owned the sports place together, but I'm assuming that's Lewis's job.
right.
And she does something different, and she's no longer at the Chamber of Commerce.
Right.
And so I just was wondering what it is that she does.
Yeah, I don't know if she does like some form of like marketing, branding, or something like that. Because I know that not Tiffany. Mel was like, I brought Tiffany over because this is her thing, this is her expertise, and so we've been working together on da 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 da. So I think it's like somewhere.
Oh yeah, when
she might do some form of like maybe marketing packages for businesses or stuff like that. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So Dr. Francis, yeah, I think he was really, I wouldn't say he was upset with Tiffany, but he just was really trying to get her to understand that, this is your marriage. And while Lewis may not say, I don't like when you overwork, trust me, he feels it. Mm-hmm. And Lewis says it. I don't know why all of a sudden Lewis is acting like, no, I don't mind, when they clearly have had past arguments about her spending all her time at work and not giving him enough time, and then on top of that, wanting another baby.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm completely confused too. But I think it's that whole not wanting
somebody to love her.
Not even that. I think that their big lose thing is once they get that, when they're filming by themselves, he doesn't mind having these conversations. But once they enter into the other couples, and because already they have had somewhat of that they've had that discussion of like, well, why is it that you can call something out but we can't call you out or whatever. So I think that for him there's this like protection of, well, I'm going to protect myself, I'm going to protect my wife, I'm going to protect my marriage, and there's just certain things I'm just not willing to talk about in front of this group of people. Like, if I'll say this, if it was the Whitlows and Martell there, then they probably would have opened up, because Martell has been the only one that has not necessarily gotten on Lewis to be like, so why are you whatever? He's been the one that's defended and being like, dang, why y'all going at Big Lou like this? Whatever. So yeah, so I think that it is that, and then I think it's also, this is a retreat. So if I out Tiffany, then I have to now deal with we gotta sleep in the same room. She's gonna have an attitude. I'm probably not gonna get sex and all whatever. So I just need to put on.
And that's an issue already in itself
Oh,
because you already
absolutely.
said that they don't have enough sex.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany is running it. That's what that's all about. Tiffany probably said, "Look, Lewis, I'm not having sex with you tonight. I got things to do. I'm gonna do this, and then matter of fact, I want a baby on top of all of this, and you're gonna give it to me, or I have to move on." Like she probably talks like that to him at the house, like,
Mm-hmm.
and he's probably, and then when he gets angry, she's like, "Wait a minute, are we Team Whitlow or not?" Like,
Yeah, I'm telling you, she definitely knows how to use the art of manipulation. Like she's very, very manipulative. And and I'm not saying that all foster kids, but foster kids definitely pick up on how to get through life. And so when they when they fight through a system that is really not for them, um and they have to go through a lot of battles growing up, and if they're going in and out of not hospitals, in and out of households, or different family members, whatever it may be, they what you call them, they figure out, well, how can I get my way in this? And so I think that that's just something that she picked up, because it happened to my aunt, where she was a foster mom for a couple of years. And I remember she had this one young lady who all she had to do was call her social worker and say, like, she made up lies to get to anytime she did, because came off to be a very sweet young lady. Like, I was around her a couple of times and she's, whatever, but as soon as somebody told her no,
hmm.
it was a switch, and she just literally was like, "Oh no, okay, yes, this they're abusing me. They
Hmm.
are doing this to me. They are not allowing, like, they're not feeding me."
Excuse
Like
me.
she would make up lies about like not being fed, all this stuff. And so they'd be like, "Okay, well, we'll remove you. We'll come and pick you up right now, and we'll find another place for you by Monday or midweek." So that's what I'm
Well, so we did learn that with Tiffany, she was adopted as a newborn
saying.
or
Hmm.
as a baby. Then she was adopted. Of course, we knew that she was adopted by another biracial family. But we learned that her family that adopted her apparently at some point, because I can't imagine them giving the child to these people already being drug addicts. So apparently at some point her parents became addicted to drugs.
Right.
So which is I don't know.
I don't know, which
I'm not
means
sure how I feel about that story, Tiffany. Only
I'm not
because
either.
again, like I said, I don't know how they were able to adopt you if they were already on drugs, and if they weren't, like they just all of a sudden one day just got on drugs. I mean, I guess.
Right.
I mean, you
That,
claim you are however old you are, so I guess you were born in the 80s. So I guess, 80s. Were they on crack?
yeah, I don't know, but the thing is that I would have even thought that her parents would have even said, and we know we've made our mistakes with you. We know that I don't know, like I felt like they would have like been transparent to be like, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, it's not coming off as truthful to me.
I don't know, Tiffany.
I don't know. Like, I'm telling you, sometimes these kids, they be, obviously she's not a kid, but they live in this like made up world or whatever, or they feel like, what I mean, for all we know, her parents could have just been some hippies, just always high.
Yeah.
Not excusing that, because that means that if she didn't feel like they were taking care of responsibility at some point and they just was just over here just Bob Marleying it up,
Hmm.
singing One Love, and Tiffany being like, "Hello, I need some attention. Hello, I need my hair done. Hello, I need scoop supplies or whatever," then yes. But yeah, I would love to know like what it was and how
Was
long
it like
was.
functional drug addicts, or did she like grow up poor?
Right. And then like like, who did she even seek any type of help, like to be like, hey, you know, I'm adopted and I'm in this situation, and yeah, I don't know. It's
That was a lot.
It is a lot. So yeah, Tiffany there's, like I said, and I keep saying it, Tiffany, there's a lot of brokenness, and I really want her to heal. I just don't think that she wants to do it. Like, literally does not want to do the work. She is okay with living in her own world because, again, things have gone her way, how she wants it, when she wants it, and she's found everybody around her that has allowed for that to happen. And again, she might be a great businesswoman, a great, you know, whatever type of worker, but when it comes to, okay, now it's time for me to shut that off and become personal and have a personal relationship,
Be
she doesn't
vulnerable.
yeah, she doesn't know how to do it. It's like, well, let me figure out everybody else's flaws around me so that I can out that, and we can just stay on that. And then when it comes to me, it's like, oh, no, we're good.
And these marriages come off as like business arrangements. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, let me see what this man could do for me. He checks the boxes and I'll take them. And then when he
Right.
stops checking the boxes, then I'll get rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so
Yeah, I mean, and because she claims that she's 34, I'll say this. I think that
Tiffany.
Tiffany will probably be married about 2 or 3 more times before she
Mm.
goes. Like, I do think that. I think that, you know, again, and because the thing is that she's gonna be like, if she's married to Big Lou for the next 5 years, which would then make her close to 40, right? She's gonna be like, oh, we don't have a baby yet. I'll give it between 3 to 5 years. And she's like, we
Mm.
ain't got no baby yet. She's gonna like, my it's ticking. So I'm gonna need to, what you call him. And don't be surprised if she does decide to stay with him, that she'll find her a little donor.
Because they were even talking about adoption.
Mm-hmm.
So she gonna come home with that baby one day, and Big Lou gonna be like,
He's gonna be like, what is
"Yeah,
this?
so
And
I adopted this kid, and if you don't like it, you can leave."
yeah, she don't need to be. I'm sorry, Tiff. You need to get it together for you first before you trying to be somebody else's mother. Because that's the other thing is that I also want to know when it comes to your son. Like, I would love to know what your son's. Well, you have a stepson and you have your son, but I would love to know what your actual son that's grown up with you over the past 15 years or 16 years, because they said 15, 16. What does he think of you? How does he think of you? How does he see you as a mother? Like, I want to know that, because the
And
thing
it's
is
starting.
that,
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh no, because I was going to say the one thing that we can definitely say of the children that have been on here, the other Scots don't really have their kids on there like that. But I can only imagine what they probably would say about their parents, truth be told.
It's starting to feel like
Especially that
now.
son. That son is a little Marceau, because I've seen him when at one time when they was asking for the daggone waffles or whatever, and he made pancakes or whatever the opposite was, and he was like, "Dad, that's not what we asked for. Like, if you and whatever." And then he said something to him, and I was like, "Oh, that's that man's son. He gonna give him a run for their money for sure." So, yeah, so they probably have them specifically out of the picture for a reason, because they probably were on their mouth like, like kids don't have, and then the other ones are a little bit younger, but like you're in your teenage years, you start to have more of a filter. But when you have like kids that's like from the age of like 4 to like 10, child, they just be doing this. Like, they'll be
We
like,
know from Melanie's little daughter.
they'll be like,
Like,
yeah, exactly.
and I
We
saw my
saw
daddy
you.
coming out that hotel, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Who's that?" And she was really like, "When it was like, okay, cut. We're not gonna have the kids on here, y'all. We're gonna let them go play, and we're
Yes.
gonna talk one on one."
Yeah.
Little
So
mama was telling it.
yes, so that's what I'm saying. Like, but so I would love to know, like, what does her son think of her? Like, how does he think that she shows up as a mother? And yeah, because you know, we're just not getting the depth. We see that there's issues, we see it, and so we're grateful that we're seeing it, but it's still like just like a lack of acknowledgement on her piece. Just like, okay, I'll let you guys in, but I'm still not going to like claim that I got issues.
It's just feeling like like Lou is like, okay, the boys are getting older. Not only are the boys getting older, they have other parents that they spend time with. So like her son goes with his dad, and my son goes with his mom. And in that time, we should be spending together. And instead of her like cherishing these moments that she has with her husband, she's working, and then now she's trying to add another baby into the mix. Like she doesn't want to like really have to spend time with Lou. So it's like, let me add another baby in the mix because the boys is about to be we about to be empty nesters, and I'm about to have to sit up here and look at Lou all day, and I can't work but so many hours. So let me go ahead and throw another baby into the mix. And I was like,
yeah,
girl, you should just be single
yeah,
and stop getting married for a look
yeah.
or for money.
I want it better. I want it more. Okay. I don't know how your better is working out because it don't seem like you really like. It doesn't seem. It don't seem like she's really happy. It just doesn't. Like doing all this and it's just not. It's not. It's still not adding up for her. So, but yeah.
So that pretty much was the episode. I mean, they showed a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of Melody and Martell. I mean, of course, like I said, it left off from the last before the break where Melody was hosting the opening of a concert hall or something. And
Right.
Martell brought the kids out to see her.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was kind of a little bit shady in itself because it was the way he kept saying, you know, why wouldn't I bring the kids out to see their mom? It gave me vibes of like you didn't bring the kids to see me when we had our book signed and you didn't bring the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So you know we know how Martell works anyway. Like he always got some underlying meaning for why he's saying stuff or doing stuff. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean that was that with them. Then I guess there's kind of not a beef brewing between Melody and Martell's mom, but I'm assuming Martell's mom said, well, she did say some stuff about basically implied that Melody was lazy.
Mm-hmm.
And so Melody didn't appreciate that. And so they focused on that a little bit. And we got to see Miss Stormy. Stormy was in her peace and tranquility meditation room, and
Zen
she
room.
was doing the bows. And that's when Melody pretty much told her about what was going on with her and her ex mother-in-law. But
Yeah.
Stormy said, y'all got me out my bag last time, and this time we're gonna start it off with some peace.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that is hard. Once because it definitely didn't seem like she wanted because I remember when Martell's mom actually sat with Mel and she said, I know that my son's wrong. I understand like nothing about this is, and she's like, but you'll always be my daughter. Like I'm not looking at you any different. She definitely remained um she definitely remained neutral, I feel like, and definitely understood because like she also stated, she was like, that's exactly what his father did to me. So I'm definitely not gonna be over here sitting up here saying my son is right. Right. So when she did make the comment about it, I remember when you was working and she was working like a dog, and I said, I just I don't know. Like my thing is she probably there's no way that she could have thought that Mel was not adding any value to their marriage when it came to because again they both were teachers, and then I guess Martell got out of teaching first and he started the whole investment thing, and then she was like, hey, listen, like quit teaching, let me show you the ropes of this investing thing, whatever. And like she said, she took it and she pretty much ran with it and started their empire.
I'm about to
So
say, from what my understanding, she was the one who had all the license. He couldn't
well,
pass
yeah,
the test.
yeah, yes, that too, and that's the thing. So I just wish that she probably wouldn't have said that, even
I
even if
think
she felt like he was working or doing or putting in all these hours and whatever. Like, you know, you sure that that was the hours that he was putting in was work, and that him putting his walking
You putting
and
in work with Ariel.
right, going down the road somewhere 30, 45 minutes away, and you get him coming and you being like, whoo, man, I'm so tired. And be like,
I
yeah,
bet you are.
right. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, she probably definitely should have just kept that to herself, because I'm like, no, your son was definitely out here having 2 full-blown relationships.
Mm-hmm. And then when moms talk like that, personally speaking, when they start mother-in-laws talk like that, it's rooted in jealousy. And it's like, yeah, most of the times the sons have some level of success and is making some type of money, and they feel like now that he has a wife, that they're getting all of that so-called money, and all their finances are being put towards their own household like it's supposed to be, and not to the mama. And so they start talking that, oh, she's lazy, all she does is lay up all day, and I bet, and what do she do, and all of that. And it's like, oh, the money and the gifts are not coming to you like they were when he was a single man. And so now then they come into the household, to his wife, or even to his girlfriend. And it's like, oh, now I'm lazy.
Yeah.
Or now the girl's lazy all of a sudden, and your son is such a hard worker. And it's like, no, that girl works hard too. And everything they have is something that they both worked hard to get, not just him working hard and Melody just laying on her back like she tried to make it seem like.
Right.
Don't do that to her.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, we'll see more of this unfold, and I hope that the retreat definitely continues to expose some things, in all the couples, because
Yeah.
we know that the daggone other Scott. I'll say both Scotts, but definitely that one couple that is like, oh yes, we're just on one accord, because listen, 15, 16 years, that means absolutely nothing. You over there saying, Tisha, let me tell you how to do this. You walk this way, whatever. They just didn't play that part. Just
Right.
follow my lead, Tisha. Just do what I do and you just be fine.
Do what I say.
Exactly.
Let me pull the strings and you just relax.
Mm-hmm. So, but anyway, y'all let us know in the comment section what you guys thought of the first episode of Love, Marriage, and Huntsville. And we will be back with you all next week. Remember to love up on that like button, subscribe, and share. Thank you all for your support. And we will see y'all on the flip side. Peace.